A very warm welcome to Time with Catherine. I'd like to share Romans 8 and verse 28 with you. And it says, "And we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." These are very difficult times. A married man and his wife have been separated. Parents have been separated from their children. Some don't know when the next paycheck is coming through, or even where food is coming from. Some have even lost loved ones. And so it's difficult to think that all that we are going through can and will work together for our good. When we read the Bible, Genesis chapters 37 through to 50, the Bible tells us the story of Joseph. In summary, Joseph was loved by his father, and his father made him a coat of many colors. Joseph was also a dreamer, and anytime he had a dream, the interpretation of it seemed like he was always up above his siblings, and so they hated him and sold him into slavery. When he got to Egypt in slavery, his master loved him, and so did his master's wife. And when she made advances at him and he wouldn't budge, he ended up in jail. But it was in jail that he was able to perfect his dream interpretation skills. And he interpreted dreams for other people, and some were let out of the jail. But when they got out, they forgot him until Pharaoh had a dream and needed interpretation. And they brought Joseph out, and he eventually became the prime minister of Egypt. After a while, there was famine in Canaan, and his brothers had to come into Egypt for food. It was at that time that they were reunited and they lived in peace. I'm sure when Joseph was going through all his troubles, it was tough. I'm sure there were times when he wondered whether God was even up above him. But everything worked together for his good. The jealousy that his brothers had worked for his good, because that's how he ended up in Egypt in the first place. His master's wife wanting to have an affair with him worked for his good, because it landed him in jail, where it was realized that he could interpret dreams, and was eventually brought out to interpret dreams for Pharaoh. These two will work together for our good. Maybe God is telling you that your business needs a makeover. Maybe he's telling you that it's time to appreciate your husband, and it's time to appreciate your wife. It's time to appreciate your family, because when all is said and done, that is all that you have. These two will work together for your good. Earlier on, God had told Abraham that his descendants were going to be in a foreign land, and they were going to be there for 400 years. At that time, even Isaac hadn't been born. But look at how God choreographed everything so that the 12 sons of Jacob ended up in Egypt. These two will work together for your good. Sometimes you need to connect the dots backwards, and then you will see that God's hand was in the story the whole time. In Genesis chapter 50 and verse 20, Joseph said something, and let me share it with you. He said, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." God wanted to save many lives. He needed to get his people into Egypt, and he did it in such a way that his prophecy would come to pass. It wasn't always pleasant, but eventually it turned out for good. This will turn out for our good. COVID-19 and all that is going on, because God still rules in the affairs of men. I hope this little message has come to encourage you. And if it has, share so that others will be encouraged as well. And you may also follow me on YouTube, Time with Catherine. Stay blessed, and remember, God still rules in the affairs of men. Thank you so much for listening, and stay blessed.